Welcome to my channel, The Three Mountains. My name is White Eagle. Today we're going to talk about the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden. We start with my words. 2 nights ago, while preparing this video, I shut down my computer at about 10 p.m. and called it a day. I lay down to sleep and in the astral, I was brought back right here to my paperwork about the video that I was making. And in the middle of the writings, I saw a huge tree taking shape. Genesis says, "And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil." All right, now let's continue. This is the huge tree that took shape right in between my paperwork, in between my writings. And the voice of my being spoke clearly in Spanish to me, because it's my mother tongue. Hay que poner el conocimiento en dos columnas. That was the instruction. Knowledge has to be separated in 2 columns. And I woke up and apprehended or realized the meaning of the instruction that I had just received. I explain now what my being wanted. 1 column is for your intellectual knowledge or intellectual activity or studies that you do with your sensual mind. This one can be lost in time because it relies on your memory. And the other column is for the knowledge stored in the essence, in the consciousness, in your being. This knowledge you receive by working exclusively with your inner mind during the meditation practices. The inner mind will open more and more and develop along the path of the 3 mountains as you kill the ego's, do alchemy, work on the sacrifice for humanity. And the result will be that more and more essence gets freed. Remember, I already taught you in my past videos how to open the inner mind with inspiration, imagination, and intuition, the 3 steps, yes, to open the inner mind. Let's continue. This type of knowledge does not get lost in time, and we take it with us from one life to another. This knowledge is translated in how much your tree of knowledge has grown in the superior worlds. Remember that there are 6 horns or degrees of objective reasoning to acquire. And watch again video 90. The 6 degrees refers to the process of the awakening of the consciousness as we grow our tree of knowledge of good and evil inside us. This tree is in sex, Sephirah Yesod and Sephirah Da. The tree of life refers to the self-realization of your inner being. The Kabbalah tree is the tree of life, right? So here I put a clear differentiation between what is the tree of knowledge and the tree of life. But let's see, I'm taking you now to my first video. And this video is number 15, and the topic was sex, the secret door to heaven or to hell. Let's play it.
Welcome to my channel, The Three Mountains. Today I want to show you the 2 trees that exist in paradise and the 2 serpents that we also find in paradise. The first tree.
Now I stop here. So the first tree on my left is the tree of life, and the second tree on the right is the tree of good and evil. And I did say here in this video that both trees share their roots. So you can watch it again. But now let's go back to my writings. Now, just a moment, I'm going to scroll down. These are words from Master Samael. The tree of life is shown as the beautiful glyph of cascading Sephirah, the illuminated virtues of God, the 9 heavenly realms. The tree of life is the being, our divine lineage, to where we must return. Remember, when we do the path, we are trying to achieve the self-realization of the being, yeah? And when we are working on the tree of knowledge, we are working on the awakening of our consciousness. The tree of knowledge is hidden within the tree of life as a mysterious sephira called Da, knowledge. The tree of life in the microcosm is the human being, where the sephira Yesod, the foundation, is in the sexual organs, the vital root of our existence. Da is located in the throat, the secret teaching of the power of the word to create. So here we have the sephira Da. And here is Yesod. So we work here in the mysteries of sex, yes, for the growth of both trees. Now we continue. The key of sex. In sex is the key to our exaltation and our fall. This is as much true in life as it is esoterically. The greatest and most sublime joys can be with loving sexual union, and the greatest types of trauma can be from the abuse of sexuality. Esoterically, the sexual energy is understood to be a divine force that belongs to the being and can return us the state of illumination that we have lost if we know how to wisely transmute and sublimate our sexual energy upwards. Yeah? When the sexual energy is wasted, then our vital force flows downward into the klipoth, the hells, into unconsciousness, psychological sleep, and hypnotism. Right? For people who are new, I advise you to watch my video called Alchemy or White Tantra to know about the mysteries of sex and what we are talking about. Let's continue. Master Samal will now explain the process of turning knowledge into conscious knowledge. Knowledge must be stored in the consciousness, not in the memory. Truly I tell you, my dear brothers, that we need to study Gnosis deeply. It is not good enough to read the books, we must go further. There is no doubt that at the beginning we need to read, listen to audios, take down notes, and learn by memory. The memory is the formative principle, but that is not all. And here I wrote the meaning of formative, the word formative. Now we continue. If we were to trust all to our memory, in the long run it will be pointless. Our memory is unfaithful 100%. If we really want to take advantage of these teachings, then we must store this knowledge in the consciousness. That is obvious. At the beginning, I do not deny that we need the formative faculty of memory, but our knowledge must not be left there. When we, by means of meditation, try to apprehend the intimate meaning of what we have deposited in our memory, then such knowledge will pass to the superior part of the intellectual center. And here Master Samal is talking about the superior intellectual center. Remember that there is inferior intellectual and superior intellectual, inside the human machine. Let's continue. And by being more conscious of the teachings, such knowledge will be absorbed by the emotional center. When knowledge has become emotional, it is no longer intellectual. Once deposited in the emotional center, it is absorbed finally in the essence, that is to say, in the consciousness. Knowledge that has become consciousness is never lost from that moment on, not even with the death of our physical body, because when we return, we bring it back inside our consciousness. But what gets deposited in the memory exclusively, sooner or later gets lost. That is why it is advisable that we store knowledge inside our consciousness. Therefore, if we insist on trying to apprehend or to capture what is essential in the knowledge of what we read, study, this will become live emotion. It will then pass to the emotional center, and with meditation practices on such knowledge, the knowledge will become conscious and will submerge itself in our essence, in our consciousness. It is in the essence where such knowledge that is to say the truth or truths, get deposited and have an emotional flavor. But I do not speak of inferior type of emotions, excuse me, but of emotions of superior type. Now I take you to video number 79. It's called the unitotal mind. Now let's hear.
Characteristics of this aggregate in the sexual motor instinct center. So here I put an image of, of a human, a person, and the 7 centers inside the machine. As you can see, the intellectual center can be divided into superior and inferior. And as I said before, the superior type emerges as we go killing the ego, yes, but the masses of the population just possess an intellectual type, well, inferior type, yes. Then the motor center, which is situated at the top of the spinal column. And then again, the emotional center can be divided into superior and inferior.
Now I stop here. And we translate what Master Samael has just taught into inside the centers of the human machine. He speaks about storing the information first in the mind, yes, into the sensual mind. That would be the inferior intellectual center. And then when it gets, gets this emotional flavor, yeah, but he speaks about superior type of emotions, then we are turning that knowledge into the superior type of knowledge. And that's when it starts being absorbed by the essence, the consciousness, right? Now let's go back to my paperwork. Superior emotion allows any truth to pass to the essence, where it will remain stored, but the cold analytical intellect, like the one of Aristotle, as an example, is completely faulty. It will never allow knowledge to become conscious. It will be stored in the memory, and that is all. That is why, between the Aristotelian systems, that is called reasoning, and the Platonic systems, I prefer Plato. The Neoplatonic philosophers and the school of Iamblichus are emotional and allow knowledge to be carried to the consciousness. That is to say, they allow knowledge to become conscious knowledge. This is then the process through which all knowledge must pass to become conscious, right? And now I'm taking you to another video, video number 1, because when I started the path, I saw Master Samael in one of my astral experiences. It was a brief one, and he was writing on a whiteboard this line, yeah, that you can see here. He made a line and he put this 0% and 100%. At that time, I didn't know what he was talking about, what he was trying to teach me, but now, with time, you get to understand that he was referring to the process of the awakening of the consciousness. Yes, remember there are 6 degrees of the process, 6 horns that you must acquire along the path of the 3 mountains, and it's different. The growth is different from the growth of growing the tree of life along the spinal column, yeah, for the self-realization of the being inside us. Yeah, we have 2 trees, remember that. And here we have 2 flows of thoughts. One, inside our heads, we can receive thoughts that are coming from the essence, or we also can receive thoughts coming from the personality, the ego. Yeah. So now let's go back to Master Samael. He will explain that in in better words than myself. Master Samael continues. There exist 2 flows of thoughts inside each one of us. One comes from the personality and the other one from the essence. We can also state that the thoughts that come from the cultivated personality are apparently brilliant, but substantial in content. The thoughts that come from the essence are of superior type, but one needs a good capacity for self-observation in order to distinguish one from the other. The thoughts arising from the essence are more simple, and the thoughts of the personality are more complicated. We could get confused and believe that the thoughts of the personality are of superior quality than the ones of the essence, but such confusion is based on ignorance. Thoughts coming from the essence, although they do not have much erudition in content, although they are very simple, unquestionably they are of superior quality. Our essence is what is best in us. Our essence is our consciousness. It is what is most important in us, the most worthy part of our being. And that is the end of this video. I only want to point out that it is true. The messages from the essence are very simple. Also, in the astral, you get very simple messages like the one I received for this video, saying, from my being, saying that I have to separate the knowledge into columns, and that was it, you know. So you need to come back to the physical and understand the message and decode the message. Up to here, I know it has been a long video. I hope I have given you food for thought and for meditation. And I see you next time. Thanks for watching.